In the annals of gaming history, we have posed many questions. Is it possible to make the Zelda timeline make sense? Why do I have to progress the main story to do a side quest? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? But the one burning question we have always asked since the dawn of the RPG is, what is the best way to gain XP? Is it maybe the henna mines AFK in Final Fantasy 12, where you just gain a bunch of XP? Is it the ogre in Witcher 3? How about the infamous bird farm from Elden Ring? But today, we're going to compare two different XP farms in Starfield to figure out which one is the best. We are level 123, we have 26 experience points, and we will have emotional security giving us a 15% XP bonus for the entirety of this XP farm. Now, as I said, we're going to compare two separate ones, and we're going to make all things equal. These are going to be on Xbox, so no macros, no mods. This that you're probably familiar with is the farm where you shoot a bunch of aliens and then repair, and then shoot a bunch of aliens and then repair. And this is an outpost where you've built animal husbandry. And in case you're wondering, this is in the Pyrus system, and it's on was this Pyrus was that 8A. So anyway, let's get right into it and see just how long it takes for us to gain a single level using this particular XP farm. Now, I created a hard save, so once I'm done leveling up here, I'll go back to that hard save, so I have exactly the same amount of XP starting the next farm, just to make all things, like I said, equal. Now, there's pros and cons to both of these. A big pro for this one is you can start this farm right around level 15 if you put your skill points in the right place. The con from this is you gain absolutely nothing that will give you any credits. As you can see, we're about halfway there already, and we're about a minute into it, so it's not so bad. Now, if you happen to be doing this on PC, this will not be the quickest way to level up. Not even close. But we're going to do things on Xbox because that's the lowest common denominator. Everybody can use a controller whether they're on Xbox or on PC. And maybe you're one of those folks that are just horrible at using a keyboard mouse. And you see, we're about 3/4 away full on this level. And we're just using our one emotional security. And you get that emotional security by getting into a relationship with one of your companions. You don't quite have to be married to get to 15%. They just have to consider you a friend or something, or ally. But you'll know, because when you sleep in the bed, you'll get some fun dialogue from them. And it won't just be, look who's sleeping. All right, that's 2 minutes. That's about 2 minutes and 10 seconds is exactly how long it took me to do that. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at this other farm. Now, if you want an in-depth guide on this particular one, I would check out Vash Kawaii's The Best In-Game Outpost for an in-depth guide on what is by far the best outpost crafting XP farm possible. I'll go over this a little bit, but not much. All right, so a lot of this takes place in the Porma system. You're gonna get some helium from this planet, and you're gonna send that helium to other planets so that you can use intersystem cargo links to move your stuff about. And you'll have 4 outposts on this planet. And then one of the first places you're going to send that helium to is in the Katydid system on Katydid 3. And you're going to be extracting silver and andesite, and you're going to want a couple of andesite bases and a couple of silver bases to make it work right. I have only one silver base because I'm getting a lot of silver out of that one base, and I've got several cargo things going out of it. All right, so and then you're gonna go over to the Cheyenne system, to the moon, Aquila's moon, which is called Kodos, and there you're going to scan a critter and use it in a bunch of greenhouses to make solvent. And you're going to send that solvent and the silver and all those things to other places, mostly in the Porma system. Alright, so let's check out where that stuff's going. Alright, so on this planet we are making, on the Porma 5C, we're making andesite. No, we're making semi-metal wafers. You got to get copper, antimony, and gold in one base. And you're bringing in silver to add to the copper to make zero wire, and then you're adding the other 2 elements to the zero wire to make semi-metal wafers. And then you're moving those semi-metal wafers here to the Porma 2, where you're going to add the solvent and the semi-wafers to cesium to make andesite wafers. You're going to send some of the andesite wafers over here, and to Porma 4D, and you're going to farm some plutonium on one place, 2 places in my case, and then you're going to have 2 places with uranium where you're going to make the nuclear fuel rods with the andesite wafers and uranium or whatever else. I forget what they are. But anyway, everything else comes here to Decan, and where we are combining, plutonium and andesite wafers and nuclear fuel rods with Vitinium to make Vitinium fuel rods. And this is a banger of a dang this like I said is the best for XP and for money when it comes to the crafting. So let's go ahead and get into it then. So we're going to sleep just a little bit, and then we're going to walk ourselves over to our crafting station. And see, that was quite a workout. So that's the kind of dialogue you'll get when you've got emotional security. Alright, so let's get right into this now. Now, because I've got so many outposts, and because this is on Xbox, there's a little bit of stuttering and stuff that happens with these things. But nonetheless, we're going to craft them as fast as we can. And you'll notice I don't go up to 99 every time. And the reason for that is because of this stutter effect that's happening. So the cons of this particular setup is that if you spent your time doing the alien farm instead of all the time that it takes to set up these bases, which The first time I did this, it took me probably 12 hours of gameplay to get all of these bases set up. It cost me a good bit of money buying all of the different resources and stuff that I needed. The second time I did it, I built some feeder outposts that I could just go and pick up the materials that I needed for coming back and doing this, and that made a huge difference. It cut it down to probably 6 hours. I seem to have a bit of croup, so pardon the grunting and coughing occasionally. But as you can see, you know, even on the Xbox where you can't use macros, this is a pretty quick way to gain XP. But again, you know, it takes a whole lot of setup, and to be fair, you could probably be like, I could probably be like level 300 just from farming the animals if I wanted to go that route instead of doing this. But there's one big advantage that this has over the other, and that is the amount of cash that you get from doing this is ungodly. And I'll show you just how much in just a few minutes. And there you go. We have reached a time. And guess what? It took about 2 minutes and 11 seconds. So as far as pure XP gains on a console, we're using a controller. They're virtually identical. But again, I'm going to show you what the big difference is going to be between the two. Whereas one doesn't, there's pros and cons to both. This one has a lot of setup. You've got to be higher end game. You got to max out almost all your outpost skills. Whereas on the other one, you only got to be level 15, and that just isn't that hard to do. Let's go here at kiosk though and see in 2 minutes just about how much money we've come up with. Let's go down to the sell tab. So in 2 minutes, we're at dang near 200k credits. So that is a big benefit to this particular level. Well, I believe that's about it for me, fellas. Let's just go and dance with these critters over in Bali. And hope y'all have a great time, great day. Why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope y'all take care of yourself. Bye now.
Body's moving, moving, moving. Lose control. Body's moving, hands moving.